I've been in touch with our people as soon as I landed today, and they're optimistic. However, I've called a meeting of the top officers of the U.A.W. tomorrow in Detroit as soon as I get back, at which time we will review the unresolved issues, and then we will decide what needs to be done to try to bring this strike to a termination.
Are there any problems in this dispute that were not present in the GM and or Chrysler discussions?
Well, the real difficulty in this situation, we believe, was the fact that the Ford Motor Company had not really made up its mind on which level of the management should make the decisions with respect to the resolution of these problems. In the General Motors situation, the corporation had made a clear decision as to whether or not a specific kind of problem could be determined by the local management or by the central office, in this case would be Chevrolet or Fisher Body, or whether the national organization would make the decision. In the Ford situation, there's been some dispute as to which level of the company would make these decisions. And in the one plant, which is the critical plant in Ypsilanti, the local management made a decision. We did have an agreement, and then that agreement, after it was made, was canceled by the central office. So that this has been, I think, the source of our difficulty.
Are there other areas? I assume you think this is the chief problem. What are the other areas?
Well, this is the area that we think is creating the difficulty in trying to get it resolved.
Have you been in touch with Detroit tonight?
Yes, I was in touch with Detroit. I talked to Mr. Mazie just a few minutes ago, and this was the basis for the information that I'm giving you.
You called a meeting for tomorrow, and there had previously been one called for Thursday between, I believe, top U.A.W. officials and management. Is that meeting still?
No, there are meetings taking place now, and there will be meetings. Some of the meetings are going on right now with the management at the local level. This meeting tomorrow is to provide the top leadership of the U.A.W. with the opportunity of reviewing all the unresolved issues so that we can make a determination as to exactly where we are and what we think we need to do.
Mr. Reuther, how's the strike fund holding up?
I could not know that because I haven't been in touch with that, but that's not the important.
Will necessitate federal mediation before they're solved?
Well, we have not worked too closely with mediation because the companies have never been willing to have the federal mediators sit at the bargaining table. Our union has always been willing, and in the General Motors situation and in all these other controversies, we have always been willing to invite and welcome to the bargaining table the federal conciliators and mediators, but the corporations have refused, so that there's no way for these people to get to the table unless both parties agree.
You said part of the reason for your returning to the United States today was the Ford strike. What do you see as your role in that now?
Well, I think that I need to, first of all, meet with the other officers of the union and find out precisely what the issues are, and then based upon that, we will make an evaluation, and I will determine what I think I can do to be helpful. But I can't do that in a vacuum, and I won't know until tomorrow all the details.
Sir, you say the officers are optimistic. Do you share that optimism?
Well, the reports that I got was that several of these plants are very close, and they ought to go together. The Ypsilanti plant, we had a settlement, and then that settlement, after it was made with the local management, was canceled by the top management.
This difficulty is that with local management, will this alter the procedure the next contract after these are handled as far as negotiations?
No, we always talk about finding a better way to do this, you see. A democracy sometimes does present problems. And as Winston Churchill said, it's a very bad system, but it's the best one that man has devised in these last 5,000 years. And that's the way with this problem. You can't take away the right of an American worker to bargain about problems locally that you preclude bargaining on nationally.
Mr. Reuther, how are the auto strikes affecting the economy?
I think they've had no negative impact because they have not been of that long duration. You've got to remember that one of the problems and the background of this whole situation is the fact that we've had 3 years of continuous overtime and that this has created very serious problems in these plants. And you can't separate that from the general attitude that prevails in these negotiations. When you have excessive overtime week after week and month after month, 3 years in a row as we've had, you're going to have difficulties.
Mr. Reuther, there's some unrest, not in your union, but in one of probably the largest union in the country. If it turns out to be a knockdown, drag-out fight, will this affect the labor movement generally across the country?
Well, I don't know what what you mean by a knockdown, drag-out fight, and I don't want to comment about the internal affairs of any other union. I get much involved in the internal affairs of the U.A.W. We've got a strong democratic union. There's no problems in our union, and I don't care to get involved in anybody else's union. Yeah, well, I just have a lot of faith in the good sense of the rank and file of any union.
Company officials have said that if a settlement is not reached this week, they will probably be forced to curtail all production.
Well, there are rumors that I've read in the paper. I'm flattered by the rumors. There's been no direct communication from the White House, from the President on this matter. I have devoted my life to health, education, and welfare, and I am naturally curious and interested, and but at this point they are rumors.
If offered, would you accept, or can you say no?
Well, this would be presumptuous for me to say what I would do about something that hasn't been offered.
Thank you very much, Mr. Young.
Well, the important thing in these kind of situations is to try to find a sensible and responsible way of working out the problems of the worker at the local level. And since when we bargain a national agreement, we do not deal with these problems, we cannot deny the workers under the law, and certainly within the framework of a democratic organization, the right to bargain on the matters that we exclude at the national table. And that's what these workers are doing. And we're not concerned about how much money we spend. The important thing is what results do we get for the workers, and how do we meet our general responsibility to all the people of this country. These are the things that count.
Is there any